Morning everyone. I want to talk to you about these. The disposable barbecue. These things are a disaster to the countryside. You may or may not have seen that in the past few days, it's now the last day of May, I think, the 31st of May. In the last few days, there's been quite a few fires in the Peak District, mainly due to these. These and people lighting campfires, possibly cigarette butts that aren't extinguished before they're flicked into the undergrowth. Fires need to be stopped in the Peak District because it is destroying the countryside. Not to mention the wildlife. I read yesterday there was a fire on Bamford Edge. A group of people had camped there, used one of these. Somehow it had dropped off the edge or something and into some heather and caused quite a big fire. Lots of people from Bamford Village, along with the emergency services, managed to put out the fire, but they shouldn't have to do that in the first place. Stop using these. Right, I'm going to give a little demonstration, if it works, of the damage that these can do. How quickly they can spread into a fire. So what I've done, I've got a little patch here. Now underneath here there's a bit of sawdust from some wood that I chopped a couple of days ago. There's a bit of dried grass from my pile of dried grass cuttings that I've just sort of popped down here. Granted, not many people in their right mind would put a disposable barbecue straight onto one of these, straight onto dry grass like this. But then not many people in their right mind would take one of these disposable barbecues up into the peaks and light a fire. So I'm going to light this barbecue and put it on there and just see how quickly it spreads. It is a bit close to the fence, I granted, but I do have a bucket of water at the side of me and a hose pipe about 5 metres away, should I need it. Obviously these things you do not have in the peaks to hand. So as I said, no one in their right mind is going to put it straight onto some dry grass and sawdust and anything else. But I'm just trying to speed up the process a bit and just give an example of what it can do. 12:17, I'm not sure if you can see that. Right, that's 5 minutes. Paper's burnt, the flames are pretty low now, but you can't see any damage to the surrounding area yet. 12:27, so 10 minutes that's been on. I've just had a bit of a gust of wind, and you can now see that already, just after 10 minutes, we've spread. The charcoal is starting to get a sort of coating of ash. It's starting to look a whiter grey colour, so that'll soon be when you put your sausages on. Now these things, they say cook, they burn for about an hour and a half. So that's 10 minutes in my garden. If you're going to light this in the peaks, 10-15 minutes you're probably going to put your food on. Another 15 minutes probably to cook it. Then you're not going to take this with you because it's going to be red hot. You're not going to put it in your bag, you're not going to carry it, you're going to leave it. And when you leave it, it's not going to be completely out. It's not going to be completely burnt through. It's like I say, it's still going to be hot. So it's going to keep doing this when you've left it for the next at least 30 minutes, you would think. 30 minutes, an hour, possibly more in this heat. Okay, so it's 12:47. This thing's been burning for 30 minutes. The way I see it with these barbecues, and I'm no pro, is that you light them on the top. So the paper that you set fire to is on the top. So it burns downwards. So it's going to be at its hottest, probably now, and for the next half an hour. Once you've cooked your food and eaten it, you're just going to disappear and leave that sat there, aren't you? Of course you are. You know, like I say, you can't move it. It's going to be burning. You're not going to have a bucket of water with you. you can have some juice, yeah, and you might squirt a bit of juice on it or a bit of water on it out of your bladder or your bottle. You might think that would be sufficient, but it's not. I don't want to stop people enjoying the Peak District. It's a beautiful area. We want to keep it beautiful, that's why I need to get rid of these things. But yeah, just take a pack up. Everyone loves barbecue, of course we do, we all love barbecues, I love a good barbecue. But there's a time and place. And the Peak District, oh sorry, I'm saying the Peak District because I'm local to the Peak District, or more local to the Peak District than any other national park. And I know there's been a couple of fires in the Peak District over the past few days. But anyway, the moors, the dales, the lakes. Anyway, just don't take these things. Even taking these things to your local park, I can't agree with that. I've seen photos, I'll see if I can find some photos and add them into the video, where people have placed one of these on a wooden picnic table bench type thingy, and it's just charred the bench. Okay, the dry grass has just caught alight. I haven't done anything to get that lit. As I have got a time lapse going on this, which I will put on at the end of the video of the entire thing. But that's your dry grass, of which there is plenty of out in the hills at the minute. So that bit of grass, which is still burning, went up there in seconds. And I say that's just a small amount that I've got, that I grabbed from my grass cuttings behind the shed down there. How soon can you destroy an acre, 2 acres, 10 acres, 100 acres? You can still see the dry grass at the back's now going to go. How quick that goes when it sets, how quick it spreads. You have nothing to put that out with you in your bag if that happens wherever you're lighting one of these. Feel free, by the way, to share this on any social media or anywhere that you feel fit. Right, I think I'm going to put a close to this experiment. I think seeing how it went up when it hit the grass was pretty much what I wanted. It is obviously still burning, still smouldering. It may still spread further, but it's going to take a while before anything else happens, I think. So it is 13:39, so an hour and 20 minutes. But I think this just gives an example of how quickly things can spread and how quickly things can turn from this into some of the mass fires that we've had up in the open lands, in woods, in forests, up on the Roaches, Saddleworth Moor a couple of years ago. And then more recently we've had quite a few smaller ones which thankfully have been dealt with before they've managed to get to anything major. So do yourselves a favour, do everybody else a favour. I know most of you wouldn't dream of doing this anyway. But anyone that's been kind of nipping out into the countryside with a disposable barbecue, with plans of lighting a fire, please think again. It'll burn the area that it's sat, without doubt. I was going to do this on my garden, just on the grass, and it would have left a black square. But I decided to do it here to give more of an example of what could happen. That's all this video is about, just to give you an idea of how dangerous fires can be. Take care out there, guys. Enjoy the countryside for what it is. Look after it, and look after yourselves. That's it from me. Hoping to get out to the peaks next week. See you there. Without a disposable barbecue. So there we have it, guys. Enjoy the peaks, make the most out of them, but don't take one of these, don't light any fires. Barbecue fires, cigarette butts, make sure your cigarettes are out completely before you flick them into the undergrowth. Best thing you can do with one of these disposable barbecues, dispose of it. Thank you for watching, see you again soon.